say no. Say what you doing, trying to do somebody cold. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance. You gotta move your muscle. Brand new dance. It's called a Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go. We gon' show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Now, now, show you that. Do your work. Come on, step back. Let me see you do the down, down, do you that, do you that. Down, down, do you that, oh yeah, come on. Down, down, do you that, let me see you do the down, down, do you do the shuffle, baby. Down, down, do you that, do you that. Down, down, do you that, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Now you see what I'm talking about. I represent for the dirty South, where we're known for swinging out. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Down, down, do you that, do you that. Down, down, do you that, do you that. Let me see you do the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid shuffle. Down, down, do you that, do you that. Down, down, do you that, down, down, do you that. Down, down, yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go, here we go. To right, to right, to right, to right, to left, to left, to left, to left, to left. Now kick, now kick, now come on, baby, kick. Now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, to right, to right, to left, to the left, to the left, to left, to left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself. Here we go. The Cupid shuffle. Now let me see you do the Cupid shuffle. Now let me see you do the. It's your boy Cupid, C-U-P, the oddity. Mr. Fat on the track, got another hit. Here we go. Down, down, do you that, do you that. Come on, come on. Down, down, do you that, do you that. Let me see you do. Down, do you that, do you that. Do you that. Down, down, do you that, do you that. Down, down, do you that, do you that. We got a brand new dance. Kick a swing out, baby. We got a brand new sound. Mr. Fat on the track. We got a brand new dance. We got a brand new style, y'all. You better watch out 'cause we coming. So get ready for the brand new style. You better watch out 'cause we coming. You got another one, Mr. Fat. You.
All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Now that you are up, because I know that you are. Probably was doing that Cupid shuffle in your head. Was like, I'm not about to stand up and do this line dance, but I know you was kicking your feet, okay? All right, today's topic is pretty is as pretty is, I guess. So, my guest is none other but licensed estheticianist Nicole Cosby. Now, I posted a post this week on Facebook for all my people who are online social media lights, where it was a guy who was getting lashes and guys that get lashes. And I didn't put it up there for no reason, because I knew that Nicole was coming. And we got to talk about this thing, okay? In case you guys don't know her, I want you to know that she's advanced certified extreme lash stylist, okay? And also, let's see, you do microblading and certified fibro. Go into detail as far as what is fibro or fibrow.
Oh.
I said fibro. She looking like, what is that? And I said fibrow. She's like, oh, now you talking to me, huh? Now you talking about language.
call it febrow or fibrow.
Okay, febrow or fibrow. Now, what is that?
It's just a technique. Branko Babic is the originator. That's his
thing.
His thing.
Okay.
So he's supposed to be like world renowned, top dog.
Mm-hmm.
And microblading. It's just a form of microblading, which is permanent makeup for eyebrows.
Okay.
So, which is just hair strokes etched into the skin. That gives you the illusion that you have hair.
Now, what
eyebrows.
is... Okay, so now what is that stuff that you don't I don't want to say tattoo because I know that's the wrong word, so you tell me the proper word. Okay. That like when people get their eyebrows done and then it's stained. What is that?
It's a staining. It's a tint.
Okay.
It stains the skin and it tints the hair.
Okay.
And you might get maybe a week, 2 weeks out of it based on how you take care of it, based on if you have oily skin or dry skin. But it's just a staining, a tint. Temporary. Oh. It's temporary. Okay,
and your, office, salon, spa is Boardman, Ohio.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you used to live in California.
Correct.
So, originally from the Youngstown area.
Yes.
Moved to California. Mm-hmm. You came on back. And doing it up, huh?
I'm trying to do it up.
That's where I saw, that was the first time I saw guys when I was in California that were getting their eyebrows cleaned up. Mm-hmm. But actually they were kind of arched back then. And that was back in and I thought this guy was very handsome. He was there with his girlfriend too. And I'm in there and then I looked and see that was back in, I want to say the 90s.
I was going to say early 90s.
Yeah. And we weren't really, I could say me, somebody somewhere was actually getting their eyebrows done. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't something that you saw all the time.
And a lot of men don't put it out there because of the stigma behind it.
The stigma behind it. Okay. Yeah. So the stigma behind it is that it's gay. I'm using air quotes. Because they know I love my gays. Feminine. Okay.
Isn't the terminology metrosexual sexual now? It's
yeah.
Tidy up or whatever.
It's called metrosexual.
I come in here looking like a wreck. every Saturday morning.
Y'all hear Rulo?
The scruff look going
all the time.
Well, that's no shave November for prostate cancer. So just use that.
No shave November.
Yeah, take the purple ribbon. You just don't have it.
Hey, look, I was on a marathon with it. October, September, August.
They just keep it going.
Yeah, I was like, why mess up a good thing?
You can stay warm too, huh?
Okay. Exactly.
But yes, you are right. It is the metrosexual. Okay, so let's go with metrosexual. And then it was a lot of different people that commented on that post, and they were like, "Oh, they must be gay. They must be this." And to me personally, I just look at it as men that want to keep themselves up. Now, celebrities. A lot of people don't know that the celebrities. What, you got a beard?
No, that's a guy.
I was like,
I should have brought some beer in there. That added to my gruffy look.
Be like, there you go. He got it on. I'm like, I ain't seen a can like that in a long time. Okay, then. Yeah. But I seen where celebrities, they'll wear the foundation, and then you have somebody looking on the outside that don't realize it. They're like, oh, they must be gay, and that's not necessarily it.
It's no different than a guy getting a manicure or a pedicure. I mean,
and see, it took a while for that to come out. I mean, to be accepted.
Yeah.
The manicures and pedis, go ahead.
Okay, I get an interesting story about that.
Go ahead.
All right, I see this finger here.
Mm-hmm.
She looking at
see my finger, see my thumb.
She's like, which one? They all jacked up. But this one right here, particularly, it's all how it's kind of twisted and all that kind of stuff. Right. Okay, I used to play football, and I got this. I think I broke this finger I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
But anyway, one of the times when I broke it. The nail cracked.
Okay.
See, and it's
down the middle, the nail bed.
Uh-huh. And it's always, no matter what, it will grow back like that. So I was dating this lady, and she had a particular problem with that particular nail.
What?
Yeah, and she suggested
Put a Band-Aid on it.
Well, actually, it suggested to the point of influence me to go get a manicure to get that fixed.
It bothered her that much?
Yeah. So I did do this, right? Because we had this date. We were going like Gateway Clipper or something like that.
Okay.
Which is this boat ride for all the people in the world out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so what they did was file it down and all that kind of stuff. And she like just buffed the nails, you know. And so that was cool, you know. But I know like sometimes dudes will go and get like a clear coat or something like that. I don't know if that's necessary.
If you buff it.
Yeah, if you buff it, it should shine. Yeah, I already had the shine on, but like I know a dude who would say, "Oh yeah, I get that, then I'll get a clear coat." Okay. And I was like, I don't know about all that.
That's just a polished guy. That's like if you put a suit on.
Yeah.
You can't put a suit on without putting cufflinks on. That's just me. That's just a polished, completed.
I know, but I'm thinking, who puts a suit on without it? Is there people that do?
The thing is, you have not all shirts are made for, you had to have a special shirt.
Oh, well, my son did. Because when he was little, okay.
Yeah. So you can, like, but on her point, like one of the gifts I gave my son for his, it might have been 18th birthday or something like that, was some cufflinks with his initials on them.
Oh, you know, that's a nice gift. Hey, I was going to give y'all the list.
Yeah. So that was like a coming of age sort of gift too. Like, here you go. Right. You know, so.
Now that is nice for a father.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm saying fathers are essential to the growth of men.
Absolutely.
Not just, just being there to rough and tumble part of it. Because a female, I didn't think to give my son no cufflinks. Not at all.
Yeah,
I would have, but.
Because that's what you're attracted to. And so that would be a given. Me, I didn't even think of that. I'd be like, he buys his own stuff.
But it's like that kind of.
I get him dress sweaters though.
Yeah, it's like for example, he has an internship he's coming up on, and I'm like, okay, well these are some of the things you probably need to do because it's a professional internship.
Uh-huh.
I was like, well, do you know what the dress code is? And he's like, oh, I don't know that. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, then you need to find that out. I was like, you need to have a conversation with them now to say, hey, what is the appropriate attire in the workplace? You know, which I'm thinking he should already know that, but I know my son, he'll go in there and just have a button-up shirt on and think he cool.
Button-up goes a long way.
Yeah,
they go a long way.
But it might be in his best interest to have a tie on. Even if it's one black tie you wear every day, as long as you know what I mean.
At least one.
You know what I mean?
Oh, like, one black tie?
I mean, just wear,
tie period.
Yeah.
Right, you got a tie.
Yeah. And that's another thing though too. Like going in that whole thing was like, if you're raising your sons to know how to even tie a tie, you know what I mean? And those who haven't had that ability to learn, I mean, it's like you can go and find like different sites and stuff like that.
YouTube.
Because I used to have like
go to Andre. You're gonna be a fat tie looking like a clown. Everybody got quiet. I just said what I'm saying. The big fat ones do look like a clown.
When they make a bow tie.
They make a bow tie to that tie.
A necktie. Yeah,
they be fat looking like a clown. You know, I'm gonna
teach them how to.
I'm gonna keep it 100. But Andre, my boy, I ain't gonna take that away from him because he be together with his stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, for him and his personality be always together.
Because that was one thing. Like early on, like when I was in my mid 20s. I was working in Cleveland at the time, maybe early 20s. But anyway, the point was that I was always accustomed to just making a Pratt knot, which is just like the regular knot that you see people just kind of do, like the one little knot there. Uh-huh. And so what ended up happening was there's a double Windsor. You can have a double Windsor, and that's
knot and all them different knots.
That makes it thicker. That makes the knot thicker. So when you would
based on the shirt too, the collar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we can do a whole show on tie and tie.
Yeah. I mean, since
this is cool because it's all about grooming.
Yeah.
And I had to name it "Pretty Is As Pretty Does" because some of these guys is real pretty now. They real pretty.
Well, it's funny. True life story.
You used to be pretty. Remember he had his pretty look. I was like, look at baby face.
I ain't seen guts since he was gut.
Yeah, I ain't been pretty in a long time. But you know what's so funny though is that it was no surprise to the regular listeners. I had a couple health bouts or whatever this year. It's been a rough year for me. So, like, I ended up gaining, like, well, I don't know. What do you say? You look and tell me how much you think.
Probably about 30.
45 pounds.
Really?
So what ended up happening was I ended up...
And I lost it.
Yeah. Like, I picked up whatever she lost. It's that symbiotic relationship we have.
Right.
Hosting guest host, but anyway, like I gained the weight, and then when I came back to work, one of the people is like, "Oh, you know," we were talking. I was like, "Yeah, my leg hurt today or whatever." She's like, "Do you think you could be related to all that weight you gained?"
Did somebody say that?
Yes, right. And then yesterday, I was
wait. So you said your leg hurt, and a female came to you and said, "Do you think it's because of all the weight that you gained?"
Yes.
Now, if that was reversed, you gonna be straight in the HR.
Well, it wasn't. It was a work situation.
Okay, sorry, y'all.
But we didn't work together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like part of my thing is what I do, like build leadership. So it was like one of those things like that.
So how did you feel?
I told her to leave the break room. I said, "You get out of my face." No, it was cool though. I take those things in stride because the thing was, at least she said it. She said what was on her mind.
She said what other people probably was thinking.
Yeah.
And then you could respect that?
I could.
Okay.
That could be the reason.
It was a little
At the
more.
end of the
It ended
day-
up being a little more.
A little bit more?
Yeah, because remember what you ended up, he was suffering. Can I say that?
Oh, yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
He had a blood clot. So it was a little more to it, which, people take, and I'm sorry, that nursing thing just comes out.
Yeah.
When you have leg pain and you just thinking, oh, okay, well, it's just because of this, it's just because of that. Please get it checked out because our own Rugal has some major issues, and it was...
Yeah, and it was...
That was something.
And when it came on, it was like something where I didn't even know that it was an issue because I fell asleep on the couch. I had like a little bit of pain on the outside of my shoulder and on the inside of my leg.
His left shoulder and the inside of his left thigh.
And I just thought maybe I just slept wrong or whatever, but I had to go to Columbus that day for a rally. So I'm up there walking around like, oh man, this don't really feel right. Then after time, like, because who's going to the doctor right away? Not me. I'm not doing that. You're
not.
I'm not doing that.
But I want y'all to.
I'm going to wait till I pass out. When I pass out, then that's when you take me to the hospital.
Right.
So
you got a choice.
Yeah,
right.
You got a choice at that point. Yeah. So that had happened, and then it just came on so hard, like I couldn't even walk. And then the thing was at the hospital I was at, I don't even know why they released me because I literally I walked in. This is the crazy thing about a hospital. I didn't have a surgery or nothing like that, but I walked in, but I had to be wheeled out.
That's a problem.
A huge problem.
Look, live to the audience. Go ahead.
I have a question before I forget because I'm trying to get this coffee in me. But I have a question for you, Nicole.
Okay.
Now, doing what it is that you do, have you ever had men to come to you and maybe they wanted excessive cosmetics like deep, dark eyebrows?
Yes. I had one older guy, I would say, age-wise, I'm going to give him maybe late 50s, early 60s, maybe.
Okay.
And he wanted his eyebrows tattooed because he had no eyebrows.
Oh.
Okay. Darker gentleman.
Uh-huh.
So he wanted his eyebrows
Like this
tattooed.
radio, if this was TV, y'all be on the floor laughing like us.
So I tattooed his brows. And his whole thing was, I want thick brows. I want thick, dark brows. I want thick, dark brows. Okay, I'm going to give you thick, dark brows. You got it.
Uh-huh.
So we tattooed his brows. Okay, cool. And he's thinking, what do you think about my eyelashes? You think I need eyelashes? What do you think? And I'm like, I think you might be going through a little mini midlife crisis. Or something.
He didn't get the Corvette.
No.
He like, hey, let me get some lashes.
Yeah. But yeah, they do. And then I've done, I've waxed a few men, their eyebrows. And the one guy that I'm thinking about off the top of my head, he was a gay guy, this particular guy. But I was doing his brows as I would do a straight man.
Yes.
But in the back of his mind, he wanted girly brows.
Okay.
Okay.
So I had done his brows a couple of times, and then finally, I guess he got the courage to say, Miss Nicole,
I want them like this.
I want them like this.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All you had to do is tell me, because I'm doing it as I would do a straight man. Just clean up, nothing fancy, just cleaning them up in that way. But yeah, I mean
I have another question for you. So, do you ever suggest to them, let's try it like this first, and then maybe we could go darker if you don't like this look?
Usually I kind of get them to go under my recommendation.
There you go.
first.
That's all. That's what I
As a
wanted to know.
professional,
Yeah.
and then once you leave my shop, that's me on your eyebrows or me on your eyelashes.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm not going to send anybody out there in the world looking crazy, because it represents me and what I do.
They sure gonna tell it, because
So, and
I
they
have
gonna
met a
tell
few
it.
people whose eyelashes that you've done, and they told me who did it. And the one girl, which was really interesting because I was at work, she came to me and told me who did her eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, how you know I know her? Y'all was talking about me. She was like, hey! But I had my eyelashes done from you. And she knew that. And I'm thinking, and I went back and I said, maybe that's pretty much, how she kind of got that. Because I ended up telling her who did. She said, oh, okay. She didn't mind. She came and told me, go ahead, you had a question?
So what's the scope of everything you do? Because maybe I missed that.
We did it. We touched bases, but go ahead. Share yourself.
That was that pilot.
Who's that pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you that pilot we was talking about it.
And I brought treats. I brought
And
treats.
did you bring treats? Oh, we gotta look at the bag.
Because I think I talked about this pastry before with you guys.
What kind of Afro? Oh,
Yes,
Danish.
yeah.
Because I never had a Danish before in my life.
So I got an apple Danish, and I have a strawberry or a berry
had a
cheese
Danish.
Danish.
I never had a Danish.
So we can
Sure.
we can cut up Danish.
Yeah, let's do this.
Nobody
What we
has any
do.
allergies or anything like that.
I do the strawberries, but
Okay, then don't keep this one on a separate plate.
Danishes.
Because
Yeah,
I thought
we.
it was that. So I brought an apple one. I should have brought a cheese one.
Cheese ones? Oh my goodness.
No, I
Mr.
haven't.
Paul's Bakery? Come on.
Mr. Paul's, I just straight glazed donut.
Yeah.
I'm just like straight glazed.
Well, we on a Mr. Paul's tip, but best thing out of Mr. Paul's was the
dinner rolls.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, they had dinner rolls? They got good dinner
The ones
rolls?
that they would spread apart, like you just
Put
like
them in the
peel it
microwave
off.
and they just kind of like.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then
And
you know what? So I need to get that for the Mingle with Medicine. I'll tell you right now, I have a fundraiser coming up. You'll see me in 11 Rugo at the Mingle with Medicine wine sip. That is one of I usually do a fundraiser every year for a scholarship. Last year we did the Battle of the Sexes, and we were blessed enough to give away two $500 scholarships to two girls going
Excellent.
to college. So I was excited. And this one right here, this scholarship, this wine sip is the wine sip is to raise money for the scholarships. But this scholarship, you have to be enrolled in school, but I'm not pinning anything on there, so you can be an adult going to college.
Nice.
So that's what this one is for. So come on out. It is on December 2nd from 3 to 5. If y'all know me, y'all know I start right on time. It is free admission. Okay, and you're like, hey, Mel, how's it free admission if it's a fundraiser? I don't understand. Well, guess what? The wine sip part of it, and you can donate whatever amount you choose to donate. You'll go back, but I'm thinking I should go to Mr. Paul's to get those dinner rolls instead of the garlic knots that I was going to get. Garlic knots is the bomb. We got to try that. I got some here.
What, Italian Village?
No, actually it came from Sam's Club. They ain't even pay for commercial time. I'm going to have to go out to Sam's Club.
You might want to just try a variety.
And just put it out there?
Knots, though.
They're the bomb.
Yeah.
Listen, I took it to work for lunch. Just garlic knots. And I'm not even a bread eater.
Yeah. But do they even make those rolls anymore?
Yes, I got some in there.
Not the nuts.
Mr. Paul's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Bakery. You know Classic Bakery is.
Yeah. I know the whole backstory on the whole.
Yeah, you know the
won't go to
backstory
that.
of
That's a
Mr.
whole
Paul's.
nother
And you know I do too
issue.
when I wanted to get that birthday cake, remember?
Yeah.
What happened with me with Mr.
Which I
Paul's.
don't understand that.
They wouldn't even let me get the cake I
Yeah.
wanted. I said, you baking it? Like, well, oh no, you don't want that. I wanted a large cake. She said, no, you don't. You want a quarter of it. Like, she was looking at me. I was on the phone. I'm like, well, I don't need no cake. Like, I ain't gonna have no guests. Like, what?
So you're a cosmetologist?
I'm an esthetician.
Esthetician.
Yeah, I'm an esthetician.
Esthetician.
All right. Because in my last part of that story, like, okay, that was one situation.
Uh-huh.
Just yesterday I had a meeting and I was up I got up at 3:00 in the morning. I had to be in Cleveland at 6. Then back in for 40 hour and 45 minutes away from there, I had another meeting and started.
Oh, that's a lot.
It was just crazy, right? So I thought it was cool when I got up and did everything. But then at that last meeting, one of the people said, "Hey, at the end of me, she said, 'Hey, we cool, right?'" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Would it be okay if I told you something?" I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. It really is." And she's like, "What's up with all this?" She's like, "When you gonna twist your hair up or
she said you need to be groomed.
Yeah, called me completely out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was just like, "Oh yeah, yeah."
Okay.
So I am thinking that today is going to be the day where I start to figure out what my new look is going to be.
Awesome, because
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about today. Grooming yourself and how important it is to take time for yourself. That's why we invited her on the show.
Oh, okay.
So did we write out?
I think this was part of a larger outreach. She's like, we about to go global now. Clean this guy up.
Yeah, clean it up. Get ready for TV, honey. Get ready for TV. So go into the details as far as everything that you do, because I remember it was a time where you was doing like implants.
Not yet.
In the head.
That's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, that's coming. So basically what I do is I wax body hair.
Uh-oh.
I do tattooing, eyebrows, and I do eyelash extensions. And pretty soon, I don't have an exact date, thank you, but I'm gonna be doing what you just mentioned. It's called SMP, scalp micropigmentation, and all that basically is you're giving the illusion of hair. Men and women that are receding or getting thin, you can tattoo hair follicles that gives you that illusion that you have hair, and it gives you the buzz cut look.
Okay. You want to go? Because I got somebody right there. Want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I got hold on this.
I just tasted that Danish and I'm not a fan. Okay. But besides that.
You put it in the microwave. You gotta warm it up.
Oh, okay. I saw someone, since we just being honest, I saw someone who had their hair, I don't know if it was like sprayed on, and
It was a mess.
yeah, and up close, and not even me being a licensed cosmetologist. Like, I saw it, like, I came, like, back far. Okay, that's okay if you taking pictures, but, like, do you see what I see? I felt like, do you see what I see? You know what I'm saying?
You don't have any friends.
Yeah, and no true friends, because some of your friends should tell you, like you were saying, the lady, that's not the move, sweetheart.
And this is interesting, because what you're saying is,
I mean, a whole lineup spray, like a stencil. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I was...
And this was a female. Go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
For this whole thing, it's kind of funny because I'm like, as I told you, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? What am I going to look like? What am I going to do? So I'm looking at some stuff, and then I said, what is Beijing or Beijing?
Beijing. Beijing.
Or Beijing. I don't know.
What is that?
What is it? Right? And so I was like, I got to figure this out. Like, because I know about it, but I don't know about it.
Okay, go ahead, Nicole.
Beijing, I'm assuming that it's a temporary fix for thinning hair.
And
I see people use it on their beard.
Yeah,
to fill in gappiness.
So
if that's a word.
Yeah, it is. The gappiness. But the thing was, as I was doing my research and stuff, it was this guy on there who had this amazing thick beard. Amazing. But he also he was balding, and so he showed this way how he used Beijing, the powder stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, he would sprinkle the powder on his head and then kind of dip it, dab it, and he would make it seem like he had because he wasn't bald everywhere, but he was bald enough where he developed like a hairline, but it kind of looked his looked natural in a sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then I started looking at some other stuff, and I was like, people are like going crazy with this.
Were they looking plastic? Like Jermaine Jackson?
Yeah, like we're like not even like not.
The Jackson, the
Jermaine's look a mess.
No.
Yeah, that's a mess. I think that's a whole tattoo,
but yeah, it's like, you know, you would see that, like, that sort of thing and stuff, and I'm like, I don't really get that, you know. Then I seen this one where it was like a guy who looked like he was he was cutting a guy who looked Puerto Rican, and he had some thinning hair or whatever.
Okay.
And he was showing like how he used it as a temporary, because I guess you can make it into a dye or something like that
I
too.
think that's actually what it is.
Yeah, that's what
it's
it
like some
is.
kind of like temporary
I'm
dye
under
or
the impression
something.
that, yeah.
But I guess you could sprinkle it, or you apply it dry, and then, or you can make it into this dye or whatever that because I think there was like Beijing number 57, 58, 59 that they were talking about using, and it's like this whole spectrum of colors for it or whatever. And I'm just like really like involved in this. I'm like, okay, an hour later, I think I know everything I need to know about this product. But it was just like one of those things where, like, when she talked about creating the illusion of fullness
Hair. In a picture? But what about up close? Now, you probably have to talk to Georgie. Because Georgie used the Beijing.
But do we use it to take
to
away
get rid of gray? Just the gray.
Okay.
Because he has hair.
See, I think I need to keep all the gray I got.
You feel more distinguished, more respected?
Well, I think like some of that, and then sometimes like, and not to be like
some of it's overkill.
Yeah. Well, it's just coming natural.
Oh, you gray. I mean the Beijing.
The Beijing.
You're fine. No, I mean the Beijing.
I mean, because it's just like, I mean, because I thought, I was like, maybe if I made this darker or something like that or whatever, then I was like, I don't know, because that radical change, like, I think like people would just, I mean, it would be apparent, you know what I mean? Like, what did you do to yourself? You know what I mean?
So you think the one that said, maybe if you lose some weight and then you come in here Beijing, now she'll be like, what happened?
What you going through?
What you going through?
I'm going through my midlife crisis.
Yeah.
The crisis is mid.
Okay, so is it safe to say that her bringing that up to you made you aware and now you're ready to do something about it?
Well, it wasn't so much her making me, I mean, because I've been made aware of it just because.
Just out in the street?
Like, it's just myself. I mean, like, I'd be like, okay, let me, like, put some extra, black seed oil in here or something like that. Some Obey, you know. I'm just like, let me get this to my scalp as close as I can get it, and just like make the, you know, and then walk out.
Edge control.
Yeah, you know, because you see us like sticking out like
right,
right here,
I see
like I look like what was his
Dad
name?
Wood. Remember Dad Wood?
I was gonna say, what's his name? The from The Simpsons, the dude, the clown. I can't think.
I don't even know his name.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing, but I was just kind of like, I'm in a rut, and I realized that because like one of those things like when you get overwhelmed with just doing other stuff, you're like, well, what's the thing I could cut out? Well, I don't have to, you know, because I stopped going to the barber for a reason. That's why I got locks to begin with, because I don't want to go to the barber. Oh, I don't like going to barber shops.
Well, you don't like sitting that long or what?
I don't like it. I don't like anything about it.
What?
Yeah, and there's no disrespect. I mean, there's people doing amazing jobs. You know, as you see people be all clean cut.
Give me one from a male's perspective. One reason that turned you off against the barbershops. Just one.
Time.
There you go. Okay, that's what I was
saying. I'm not doing a shift in nobody's beauty salon.
You ain't doing a shift in nobody's beauty salon?
Not at all.
Okay, so time. We know you like space. Time and space is your thing.
It would almost be better if they were like, you know, if they had like the restaurant system. Like, oh, you come here, we gonna give you a page when it's your time to come. Like, you got 20 minutes to get there from this particular point. Because when you just up there sitting there, and then like, honestly,
because they have appointments. Different from beauty salon versus.
But like, I've never really seen an appointment truly be kept to that time frame.
It's been a while since you've been to the barber shop.
Yeah, because I'm like, shout out to Champ the Barber. Shout out to Champ the Barber. And when he says appointments, it don't matter. Yeah. Like, you could come in there, he'd be like, I got an appointment in 5 minutes and I'm not going to be done with you. Like, you can have a seat.
The last time I was at a barbershop, and I really didn't even need to go, really, and after I paid like $32, I was like, why did I even sit in this chair? But that was like 2 years ago for my cousin's wedding in Michigan. And he was like, I said, I just go and, get, shade up and stuff. And the dude, I was like, hell, I could have did that. You know what I mean? But it was, it was the spirit of the thing. Everybody was going and that kind of thing. But before
$32?
But before that, yeah.
I ain't sitting around for no $32.
Yeah. Like, as you see, I got not a hair on my head cut.
Oh.
Not a hair on my head got cut.
No, because you got dreads.
Yeah, not
so
a
it's just
twister,
a line?
not a nothing.
So you just got lined up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hot towel, anything?
I think I can't like after paying $32, like I went
checked
blank.
out, huh?
Yeah, I was like, what?
So tell me this, Nicole. When I know you do a lot of facials, you don't. Why?
I cut it out. Facials for me was a way to get clients in the door.
Okay, because I'm like, as an esthetician, they're known for facials.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
but you said that was a way to get people in the door.
To do facials. Because
okay.
Eyelash extensions and the eyebrows at the time was not
taken off.
It was not the end thing at the time. So I figured, okay, let me do facials, try to get them in the door, introduce them to what I really want to do.
Okay.
So
okay,
and it worked. So
hey, there you go. So you don't have to do facials anymore.
I miss doing them because I do have a few clients that's like, ooh, I could just like really help you out in a lot of areas, but when I look at my books, it's not financially beneficial for me to do facials at the
okay, because your lashes was taken off.
Yeah, that's
a blessing.
It is a blessing. I ain't complaining now. I mean, it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in the beginning, but yeah.
How long does it usually take for a facial, though?
It depends. It depends on what type of facial you're going to do. It depends on if you're going to incorporate a massage with it. So some
massages, I thought they come with the facials. They don't? Like a manicure?
So they don't have to. You could just come in for a mini facial and it's just basically
cleaning your face. Do you find just, from your experience and just being in that field that more men are more apt to get facials than females? And I'm on the outside looking in.
Maybe. But at the same time, it depends on the guy.
Okay.
It depends on the guy. I mean,
I was saying, because like what Rugal was talking about, for the wedding or whatever, and then somebody incorporate that type thing. Go ahead.
See, for me, like, as far as like, I never, let me think of this. Let me think really about this. Growing up, the first facial thing that I might have been introduced to was
Mary Kay?
Noxzema.
Oh, Noxzema! Yay!
Like that was like, it'd be like, well, and I never typically had like bad skin. Like I got places, but like I never had like, I don't recall really
that
having like acne and all that kind of stuff. Like all that.
Yeah, you remember that? People used to call people piece of face. That was so silly.
Terrible. That's horrible.
Isn't that sad?
When you think about it. Because that's
like
not
pizza face,
because like you got sausage? Pizza when it's all burnt up and stuff
with sausage,
like that. The cheese, like that ain't even good. That ain't even good pizza. Like you didn't burn my pizza.
Yeah.
So, but the point was that like okay, I'm the only male child in my family and stuff like that. So it was like okay, you put this, try this or whatever, whatever.
And let it sit on there.
Yeah, as it kind of had that kind of tingling numbness to it or whatever, be like kind of dry around the thing or whatever, Noxzema, everybody know that. But as I went on, the only way that I got introduced to like things like the scrubs and all this kind of stuff or whatever was through the relationships I had because they had this stuff and they'd be like, why don't you? I was like, why is you doing all of that? They're like, here, try this. And I'm like, it feel like rocks is on my face when you scrub the things because it's like little.
So you got introduced through relationships.
Yeah. So it's like I think like so if you have as frequent relationships as I have, I get a facial every 2 or 3 years. But
and
that
it depends on the person too. If you're in a suit and tie all the time or on TV and you gotta present yourself in a certain type of way, then you
might want to get a facial. I don't know because I'd be so nervous thinking I'll try this facial and then it's worse. Then it'd be like Hitch.
Like Hitch.
You'd be like, I got an allergic reaction. What happened? And Aloe. I want to shout out Aloe because I did say Mary Kay, but Aloe, I like their products for masks, and I got introduced to that as an adult. Aloe is a makeup line for women of color.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, but that I think that's it. I think like sometimes through your partners you get kind of introduced to like, oh, like you try this new thing or whatever like that. So like this recently, what did she make? An avocado mask or something like that.
Oh my
So
God.
I did do that, you know, and it was cool. And she's like, look, I could tell you. I was like, no, this is just the beauty within this shining out, darling. Because for some reason,
darling, this is it.
For some reason, she thinks she's the most attractive part of the couple. I'm like, you're not. I'm like, I am, and you know,
you gonna make sure once you get yourself on after No Shave November.
I tell her, I was like, I just look like this not to make you look better. That's all.
Hilarious. But you know what? I ain't even gonna lie. I am attracted to great hygiene. I notice I said great, not good.
She said great hygiene.
Great hygiene. Right. I am attracted to grooming. If you look scruffy, I don't like you no more. Call it shallow.
Scruffy ain't bad.
Listen, no, let me tell you about the scruffiness now. You could be
scruffy.
Yeah, clean scruffy. If you sit there like, okay, I ain't shaved, boom, that's all right. But line your stuff up. Take some time for you. Because I'm going to take some time for me. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I feel real good if my dude look good. If we walk into place and ain't nobody paying my dude no attention, I got a problem. Mm-hmm. Because I like attention and I want them to be like, oh, I want to be her. And that's how women, I'm being honest. Women, we don't dress for our dude. And it's the truth. We dress for other women. When we put an outfit on, we be like, oh, I'm about to kill it. I'm about to.
Me.
Well, yeah, you dress for you. But when you look in the mirror, you be like, oh, I'm about to kill it. When I walk in there, watch this. Head's gonna turn. It ain't for no other dudes. Mm-hmm. Everybody gonna look and be like, that's why I be coming late. You like time. I be coming late because I was like, as soon as I walk through the door, I'm gonna be like, okay. There she go. They're gonna be like, girl, that's sharp. I'm like, thank you. Because a guy is not gonna sit there. 9 times out of 10, a guy is not gonna compliment another female when he has somebody with him. So it's not for.
Oh yeah.
When he has somebody with him.
All right.
You know what I mean?
On
when he has
cell phone, they will.
Right. Ooh, you should have seen just walking there, boom, sitting there like what's that movie where they take the picture out of a cell phone? Get out.
Oh yeah.
And be like, check this out. But when another female actually comes and be like, girl, that's sharp. That's when you be like, okay, I'm really doing it.
And that's rare too. But
very rare. But when that female says it, you be like, okay, I knew I was together, girl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you got to have a certain kind of nuance when you, like when you're with your partner and you want to give someone else a compliment, you got to say it in a way like, darling, doesn't she look really nice today? You should, like you got to kind of fold it in there to where it's like it's a group compliment, even though I caught it.
And then guess what? And when y'all get in the car, that's what I'm about to say. When y'all get in the car, she gonna be like, "What you mean?" Talking about something, or you can say,
"Oh, she well put together."
That's when you sit there and be like, I wonder where she got that dress. You look good in that dress. That's how it has to be. But guess what?
You figure out a way.
We already in the car. We mad. We mad for the rest of the whole day.
Tight.
Yeah, we sit there like, she said jaws tight. Like, look at here. He done sat there and checked her out.
Hey, y'all got it. Y'all had to see her face, man. You should put that picture just on there. But that should be a meme.
That should be a meme.
You know you done effed up now, all right?
Right.
She had the tight jaw, but she had the eye like the eye was twitching like that. Whatever. I was like, oh man.
You cannot. It's hard to give a compliment to another female when you're with a female, depending on the strength of your relationship. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. This is how you get a pass. When the female say, "Oh, honey, don't she look good in that?" Yeah. Now you got depending on the person, right. And then when she says it, then you can decide if you gonna say, "Yeah, that's nice." Yeah. But you got to start with who, like you didn't see it, and then you be like, "Oh yeah, that is nice, that's sharp," and keep it moving.
Might get in trouble.
Yeah, then I'll get in trouble. You got to say who.
Paying attention to what's going on over here instead of what's going on over
right
here.
So
right. You just might keep your thoughts to yourself.
Yeah. Just like. Have you been somewhere with a female and then you pulled out a chair for another female that wasn't an elderly lady? Have you ever done that?
I know I've done it.
Okay. Have you done it before you seated the person that you were with?
I can't recall.
See, you should recall that.
I can't recall that.
Because that's a big no-no.
He didn't, because he wouldn't remember.
Somebody would have made him remember that. Yeah. So you always want to seat you're the person you're with first versus somebody else.
Like for my son, he just had his 23rd birthday, right? And so we were we went. Oh
gosh, what did you do?
We all went to go eat, right? And so my son is single, and so I'm sitting on one side of the table, he's sitting on another, and it's like a banquet kind of table. Like it's people on this, it's like two tables put together. Okay. People on this side, I'm on the opposite side. And I see something coming down the lane, and I look at him like, you need to
get up and meet her.
You need to check this out. You know what I mean? You need to see this phenomenon. There's coming down this way. And so because it's him and his cousin that's his same age or whatever on the same side table sitting by each other. I'm sitting across from them, and I'm like, I'm doing like the
your big break,
the neck thing, I'm like, and my wife is on the side of me, and then she's looking like, why are you?
What you doing?
She what I'm doing. I was like, listen. I gotta let him know about this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I would be remiss if I didn't bring to his attention that there is an attractive lady he should probably go talk to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? but.
Okay, I thought you was like, he need to get up and make sure she's seated, pull her chair out.
She was sitting in the booth. So
she just was in that place.
Awkward had he just like...
Something
no, so that's okay. I thought he was part of the party. She was part of the party.
It was just like we were just at a restaurant.
Okay, yeah. I got you.
But yeah, I mean, talking about the eye, the look, and all that kind of stuff.
Now I want to go back to these lashes again. So if a male comes in, your recommendation, if he wants lashes, like you said, the one guy he wanted thick eyebrows and he wanted lashes. The post that I have is strips, so it's obvious. So your recommendation would be what type of lashes for a male if he feels as though that he needs it?
You want an extension that is kind of copies the natural lash. So you would definitely not put a super curly lash on a man or a super long lash on a man. It's just more of an enhancement.
Okay.
For the man. It's not, you shouldn't, if a man wears, a straight man, for that matter, wears eyelash extensions, you shouldn't be able to tell, oh, you got eyelashes on.
Okay.
You just want it to be natural.
Now, I know a straight guy, and he doesn't have any lashes. They like super small, like if they're there. And he looks really weird without it.
With that being
nice,
said,
he's an attractive guy, but he doesn't have lashes, and I noticed it. I was like, ooh. And then he's bald, so clearly he has an issue with hair, and I think he will be a candidate.
Mm-hmm. If he doesn't have alopecia,
I think he does.
Well, then if he has absolutely no eyelash hair, then he wouldn't be a candidate for it, because with the extensions you have to have lashes, something to connect to extensions.
So the extension is not like a. Are we talking about like little strands of hair that go on top?
Single strand.
Like a track.
No,
that's
one okay.
Single strand eyelash.
All right,
is what I do. But what was on the picture that was posted, it was a strip, a whole.
And so it was obvious.
Yeah,
it was like bad.
Oh, okay.
It was like this.
Yeah, the guy had his high clothes and he had lashes on. And there was a lot of men that were like, no, he must be gay, blah, 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 blah. But there are men that get lashes and get the extensions, and as well as we were talking about the
and it has to be done
eyebrows.
Right. It has to be done right.
I mean, I think like this. I don't know if it should be a judgment call on what that person's sexual orientation is.
I agree.
I think some people feel like they want to look a certain way, and then that should be accepted. I mean, even if it's like if when they're doing like these weaves for men. Or whatever, where like
that's too much. That's too much. Too much for me. Because if you're taking your wig off, I'm gonna have a problem.
That ain't coming off. Yeah. What are you talking about?
I thought you were talking about the ones where they're doing like quick weaves on the men now. You seen that?
I didn't see no quick weave.
Yeah, what's the difference between that and a toupee?
Yeah.
That's my point. I ain't dealing with nobody with no toupee.
Well, I'm not either, but
because who's sitting there, your hair is like on the dresser. I'm gonna need for you to do something with that.
Put it in a box.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to put it in a bag, like my ponytails, throw it in a bag and hang it up. Like, toupees just is not I'm just not attracted to that. Just go ahead and go bald. Jermaine Dupri, I'm so happy he finally let it go. Go ahead.
I know, right?
I'm like, you sparse.
Okay, all right. So the thing is that what we got to hear is a little bit of a consensus that men should just take their losses and gracefully, and just find a new kind of way.
Yeah, and that's bad because it sounds like a double standard because women will throw a wig on in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. But now women are throwing, listen, these babies, they like in the 9th grade with full wigs at the school. Yeah, I'm like, what? So, yeah, it is too much. And it's like it's okay for women, but not okay for men. So it is kind of like a double standard here, just like with the eyelashes. Eyelashes make you look beautiful. There's some men out there with beautiful lashes. Mm-hmm. You're like, dang, how come I ain't get them lashes? You know what I'm saying? And with the eyelashes, I don't really see an issue. Only because especially if you're in the entertainment industry, I just don't see an issue. Like a lot of guys, they're like, I don't want that makeup on my face. Oh my gosh. And then they go with the sexuality. They must be gay. Not necessarily, but you need to look your best, especially when you're out on television. So I don't look at that as an issue. And with the lashes and the eyebrow cleanup. Go ahead.
I got 2 points to make. But when I was in your play, that was the first time I had makeup applied.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And the play was the same night as my class reunion. So,
was it?
Yeah. So I had to hurry up and leave. I didn't have time to do like anything. You know
what
I mean?
Gosh, okay.
But the point was like one time I was on this. I got interviewed on TV, and like me and the person being interviewed didn't have on, like, it was another woman. She might have had on whatever her makeup was, and I had on none. But you could tell the difference between us and the host, like, because it's like on TV, like it just be like you'd be like, I know I don't look like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like it brings out like all the oil that could be on. Like you just don't look right. Like,
you know I was greasy that day.
Yeah. You just you can definitely tell the difference. Right. You know, so I mean, like sometimes it's just needed just because you will be unflattering, even if you are flattering, you know.
Okay.
But the second part to that eyelash piece was, this could be pretty helpful for people as far as like maintaining a healthy eyeball. Mm-hmm. You know, to have an extension or this
they act as filters. Filters.
Right.
All you on our body acts as a filter.
Yeah. So if you go without that, you know, I mean, there could be some. You know, maybe, you know, things will be more prone to get into your eyes that wouldn't naturally get in there before. You know what I mean? So there could be a health benefit to this.
If they're done correctly. They have to be done correctly.
Okay, let's talk about this hair glue that people use on eyelashes.
Okay.
Now, I have seen where some people have applied hair lashes on with hair glue. That's not okay. What about, you know, I just feel like your natural eyelash would just come off. And I want to say this, you said that hair is a filter, which is the truth. Even inside our body, it's called cilia. And it sweeps the stuff that we don't need. That's inside the body, and it's hair-like follicles. Right. So yes, we do need that. So that was a great point. Now, with the hair glue versus the eyelash glue, what's the difference between those? Besides the clumpiness.
The eyelash extension glue is made specifically for eyelashes.
Okay.
Number one. And with that, it makes the eyelash extensions, they become waterproof.
Okay.
Whereas with the hair glue, to be honest, I don't know what's in hair glue, but it's thick, it's rubbery, it's heavy.
And if it's applied on the scalp, it will stop the hair growth. I'll tell you that part. I know that.
It's just a disaster. It's just not good.
And the scent, that's so close to your eyes. The smell of the hair glue it's a terrible scent. You can smell the chemical.
And I think they attach it to your skin as well. Whereas with the eyelash extensions, nothing touches the skin.
And actually, with the hair glue, it's not supposed to touch your skin because it clogs up the hair follicles and prevent growth. So
then you end up
with
that, alopecia.
Right. And then you sitting there trying to get some spray going to Nicole, talking about something, fill me in. I got a gapper. I got a gapper.
Okay. Feeling the gappiness.
So I think that people need to know exactly what they're doing. I know some cosmetologists that use hair glue. And I remember getting some extensions. They were going to put some eyelashes on. And I'm like, okay, you do me some lashes, boom. And then when they were doing it, I had big bulk here. I'm like, what is that? Hair glue? No, that's not hair glue.
I think their reasoning for using hair glue is they last longer. They make the individuals last longer, which the individuals, or even the strip lashes, that's just a temporary fix. The strip lash, you put them on at the night of your event or whatever,
and you take them off.
Mm-hmm. The individuals, if they're done correctly with the glue that comes in the pack with them, if you get 2 or 3 days out of them, you're doing good. Anything longer than that, it's too long because they're too heavy for the natural lash.
Okay.
They cause damage. And
now, how long does the individuals, because it's one lash applied to one lash?
That's extensions. The individuals are like the clusters.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go with the extensions because I end up coming to you after. With the extensions, how long do you usually get, how much use can you usually get from that with the extensions?
With extensions, they will last indefinitely, when you come in for fills every 2 to 4 weeks. It just depends on your shedding cycle because we all shed. You comb your hair, you wash your face, you get dead skin, hair in the comb, brush. So, and the average person will shed anywhere between 2 to 3 lashes per eye per day. So with that being said, you come back every 2 to 4 weeks to keep them full. It just depends on how full you like them.
Okay.
It's based on how often you come back.
What's the starting price of extensions? And I keep focusing on extensions because I'm just assuming that people have lashes and they just want to look extra pretty.
It just depends on what you want. I have a mini set that I start out at $99, and then I have a full set that's $200, and it goes up from there. It just depends on what look you're going.
What does that mean, full and half set?
A mini set is just what it sounds like.
Like one eye?
Small. Not a lot.
Oh, okay.
You gotta do both eyes now.
Okay.
I would say just one eye, be like, catch me on my good side.
That's half price.
On the left side.
Half price, you just want one eye done.
Half price, one eye.
Yeah. But a mini set would give you just
half price.
density or a little fullness with the mini set. Where my next setup from that, you get length and fullness. And then if you go up from there, it's just like whatever you want. You want colors, you want every single lash in your head done. Okay, we could do that.
Okay.
So do you do the top and bottom?
You
Is
can.
there are lashes on the bottom, right?
Normally I just do the top.
Okay.
For me, when you do the bottom, it's a little overkill for me.
Okay.
But people like that, and if they want it, I don't have a problem with it. But
you recommend
just the top because you're gonna get so much attention from the top. It's like just throw some eyeliner on
and call it a day. Now, I do want to say this as far as the lashes. I want to put this disclaimer out there because a friend of yours and I's, was she getting something out the stove and she had them extensions on?
Oh, my baby.
Yes, resin, have it, baby.
Mink. They're not mink lashes. They just emulate mink.
Okay.
The weight, the style.
And the heat just shriveled them up.
The tips of them, they just crinkle up. They don't
like
necessarily
hair.
Catch on fire, but if they're super curly, you'll kind of lose your curl, and the tips will kind of get a little crinkly. But they're plastic. They're just plastic.
So watch the heat. She opened the oven. Was she getting something out?
Barbecue.
Oh, the grill.
Yeah, she was barbecuing.
Oh, man, that's funny.
I tell my clients, oven doors, don't stick your head in there. Barbecue grills and blow dryers. Them high power blow dryers.
Okay, 1,500 watts. Slow down. Watch yourself.
Right.
Okay.
So 2 things you need to avoid with the extensions: excessive heat and oil.
Okay.
And oil only because oil breaks down the adhesive, the glue.
Okay.
Now you mentioned colors. Are we talking about all the spectrums, all the color? Like, okay, so you can get like blue, green, whatever you want.
Red, white, brown, blonde.
Okay.
Sky's the limit.
So whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. Let me get some blue lashes on the tips because I got a show to do.
Right.
Or I saw something that had like feathers, like ostrich feathers or something.
That's crazy. They usually do that for like the hair shows and stuff like that. Competitions, but I've never like placed feathers or rhinestones. Actually, I have done rhinestones, but
Okay, and that's just for limited time only.
yeah.
You should get it's like for you should do your like Christmas coming up. Get some Christmas colors in there.
We usually
You
do
know?
like for breast cancer awareness. I'll drop
Oh,
some
yeah?
pink ones in. Occasionally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not to say what you would do would be ugly, but if people want to compliment their ugly Christmas sweaters, they can go and get like some.
Look at him. He getting ready. Ideas.
You know,
Ideas for the ugly Christmas sweater.
I'm just saying, if you go to the contest, you might as well win it because it sometimes ain't just about the sweater. It's like a whole
ensemble.
Yeah.
If they want to pay.
If they want to.
There you go. That's the key. If they want to pay.
You get people though who festive though. You know what I mean? They may not know the lengths of which they can do.
Now I have a question. Because there's the walk-ins but you require consultations.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
No matter what.
No matter what,
I'm doing. I don't touch a client until I've sat them down. They filled out the paperwork and we
go from there.
Yeah.
So in order for them to contact you, how can we reach you?
You deserve it. You spelled with the letter U. Deserveit.net.
Okay. All right. And you are at 15 Stadium Drive, Boardman, Ohio.
Yes.
And I'm going to put this phone number out here, 619-846-9360. Again, 619-846-9360. Don't be alarmed. I already told y'all she was living out of California. She bringing it on back to this area. Right. Let y'all know what's happening. You deserve it with Nicole Cosby doing it up. Something totally different.
Right. Yep.
That's pretty cool. You enjoy what you're doing?
I love what I do. The hardest part of my day is waking up in the morning because I like to sleep. But yeah, I love what I do.
And I will let you guys know that she is open on Sundays as well.
Every day. Holidays, I'm even working. I got a couple spots left for Thursday, Thanksgiving Day.
You gonna be working on Thanksgiving?
I am working Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I work every day.
So, well, you must really love it then. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, gotta get it.
Wow. Look at me. I'm like, that's the holiday. I be feeling bad for like the Walmart shoppers and all of them that have to work on there. Like, oh.
No, that's what I do. I love what I do. I love what I do. So
Oh.
it's not really work.
Do they gotta bring a plate if they
Yeah, bring a plate.
Bring some eggnog.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I got some hot topics coming up next. That's Nicole. You gonna hang out with us for the hot topics? A little bit. All right, here's little Sherelle. She got hours like Nicole.
Oh.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And everything was going to see you again. See, you haven't changed. It's good to see you anyway. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 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 And when I think about
pretty interesting, isn't it? That sounds like a side chick, side dude.
All day.
Talk about Monday and Tuesday just won't do.
Yeah, it was Alexander O'Neal, right?
Yeah.
All his songs is always about the creep, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
What you got?
You remember this song? Was it fake? You a fake? Like it's always
You're
about
a fake,
like
baby. Yeah.
like I don't like. Is there like a straight up song you got that don't kind of have like the kind of like it's something a little bit strange going on here? Not strange, but just like like he's aware that like there's something, or like he conniving to make it happen, like on this song or whatever. I don't know.
Saturday love. That's it. Just on the weekend, she can kick it with her. Hey, I don't know. Listen, we got the hot topics from my Monday through Fridayers. I got you covered as far as what's going on. We're going to run through these real quick because it is a lot going on. Do y'all remember the professor down at the University of Texas who called the police on... Now, here's the thing. I'm reading it just... I wrote it down the way that it was read. A white professor, called the police on a black student who had their feet on the back of the chair.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I guess people felt that was like overboard to call the police because she had her feet on the back of the stadium chair. And I say stadium, I'm thinking college.
They were in the stadium?
No, but I mean in the room. And it depends on the type of...
It was a lecture
hall, yeah.
And she had her feet up on the chair.
On the back of the chair, yeah.
Well...
Now, if somebody was in front of her, then that would be a different...
I would tell you like this.
Go ahead.
Hey, when I'm in the movies and I see that, especially when it's the person that wants to sit behind me and put their feet up on the chair, I'd be like, I wish I could call the cops.
Okay.
I mean, like, I think that's overkill to be the cop being called, but we
don't know if she actually asked her to remove her feet. Yeah. She probably did. I'm just assuming.
A couple things may come to mind, though, too. Like, we don't know what she had on. Like, did she have on a skirt and was doing it? Did she have on and that doesn't say call the cops. I'm not saying that means say call the cops. I think that was overkill all the way. But what I can say is, when I'm in the theater and there's somebody who wants to put their feet up on the chair, and especially, it's always somebody who I'm like, I'm way taller than you. And I don't feel the need to have to stretch out like that. So why is you...
At the house. Go to the house with that if you want to lay down.
Or at least go see a movie in the theater with reclining chairs. You have that option now.
Yeah, you
know what I'm saying? You have that, you have the option right here in our town to do that. But with I'm talking about my disgust with feet on chairs when I'm at a place.
I feel like that even at on an airplane. Do not put your feet...
People get on airplanes?
Yes, or they take their shoes off and you have to smell that.
Crack.
Right, and then it'd be up in the window in the crack and you said, please remove your feet because I didn't come here for this.
Yeah, those sound like coach problems.
Yeah, those are, as he has his pinky finger in
yeah,
the
those
air.
sound like coach problems. I'm first class now. I don't even fly. But...
but I'm thinking like that's a bit much. I want to speed this up for you and let you know that because I'm gonna give you the follow up. She was suspended. Yeah. The professor was suspended for calling the police.
Did she call campus security or the cops?
She called the police.
911.
I hope it wasn't 911, but anyway, she got suspended for that. So, but if she did call the campus police. Yeah, but anyway, she got suspended for that. I was kind of upset with the fact that I don't even care about the color. Just period. Because they said, they tried to make it more than what it was a black student to do. Like, was there a white student that had their feet up? We don't know that, but it's just period, just out of mere respect.
I was going to say, like, most times when I see people's feet up in the
they're usually white?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've seen it in college. I mean, if nobody's around you, in front of you, or in back of you, I mean...
You kick back.
You
sleep.
In
the lecture hall, and I say the auditorium.
I've always sat in the first row, so...
Okay, you're first rower?
First row center.
That's it.
It's my class. You're all welcome to be here.
Oh, okay. I don't see you guys behind me. I matter. It's just me and the professor.
Exactly.
All right, question. Would you use your spouse's or man's or woman's toothbrush? Would you share it?
No. I would.
I wouldn't either. But on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Portia, she actually did that.
They want too much. That's too much.
That's too much?
You gotta draw the goddamn line somewhere. That's too much.
If it was an emergency.
No.
And we're together, and just me and you, I mean, what's the difference between kissing?
because if I kiss, I'm not going in there to clean like plaque off your teeth.
And I'm hoping there is none.
Get like broccoli from between your
But
teeth.
if you clean your toothbrush before you sit, I mean, I'm not gonna be like, Mel, let me borrow your toothbrush.
I'll be like, you got it, you can have it.
No. Brushing my edges.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah.
That's a baby here now. Get you a washcloth and like.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
Or just scope it out and But
washcloth it until you get to the nearest drugstore to buy yourself one.
I have a problem even like
sharing ice cream.
I don't think ice cream is a dish to be. Ice cream on a cone is not a dish to be shared. It is not, and I've seen that, and I thought like that is not what's up.
That is so nasty.
Yeah,
I know it's not something, but you're right. You can kiss the person, and then you be like, but then you be like, I draw the line.
Like even sharing a drink.
Where the oh God, they were doing like a talk show or whatever, and the guy. They were tasting food, and the guy took something out of the dish, let the dog taste it, took another scoop, let the person he was interviewing taste it.
Head small.
I can't think of what it was.
No, that's a no-go. Once a dog in, I'm out.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's team too much. All right, IHOP will no longer be serving guests with a strong marijuana odor. How you feel about that?
I think they're going to lose their customer base. Because IHOP ain't really. I mean,
hopping?
It ain't. Like to me, if I choose IHOP, it's rare that I say, oh, I need to go there. You know what I mean? So if they get customers coming in.
You think that like the weed smokers is the ones that's up at 2:00 in the morning and
it's
right?
They going to Denny's.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, we ain't allowed to IHOP. Here we go.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like especially when you got places where it's legal because what are they gonna say now? We gonna stop serving people who may have alcohol on their breath too? Right. I mean, because that would be
or just body odor.
I mean, is this like you really messing with your customer base by doing that? Especially like, I mean, if they want to say, hey, what's their reason for doing? We want to be family friendly, or we just want to reject?
I would probably think like family friendly. So
2:00, 3:00 in the morning, who's your customer base? It's not the family.
You got a point.
I mean, who is it? Why are any of these places open at that time of night? And now you can say, oh, it could be, there's truckers and stuff, but these places is in suburbs. These places ain't in places where it's like, they may have some that are truck stops. Mm-hmm. So you understand that part. But when you're talking about just being in a community and you're open at like 3:00 in the morning, who is that? Who 3:00 in the morning on a Saturday, Friday night? Who is your clientele? Those people out who who are partying, don't want the party to end, so they can say, "Hey, let's go get some breakfast."
That's how it used to be back in the day.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not condoning weed smoke at all because I think there's larger issues with the legalization of marijuana if we don't have things established with our safety and people being able to work. I think it's an issue. But however, the point I'm saying is. Who are they open for? They need to have that hard conversation. Mm-hmm. If I'm open up 24 hours on these particular days, who am I open for?
There you go. That's one IHOP restaurant that decided they're not doing it.
And then what do you do when you're not? Do they shut? I don't know. They have branches in California, Oregon, West Virginia,
in the place,
Washington State, Colorado,
where it's legal.
It's all legal there. So like, how do you say? How do you determine who? And then what if it's a situation like, oh, these black people came in here, we smell marijuana, and so
versus cigarette smoke, the same thing. I don't like the smell of cigarette smoke.
Like, how do you distinguish between something that could probably lead to a bigger issue? I mean, look at Starbucks situation. They have people just sitting in there, which people sit in Starbucks all the time. The environment is supposed to be like that, and as soon as these black men came in there to have a business meeting. They waiting on somebody to come. They call the cops on them. You know what I'm saying? So how do you
had that scruffy look going on?
Though. That's what happened. They had that scruffy look.
They might have that scruffy look going on.
They weren't clean cut enough.
But the point is, it's like how do you start to make those distinguishing and really subjective views of what?
And they are subjective.
Because what if I just happen to get sprayed by a skunk that day? and I want some
I'm
delicious
like,
pancakes.
I smell some skunk.
Hey, but
Sure,
you
you
could
can't
somebody
be
might
here.
say that's some weed though.
Right.
You
That's
know?
why I said
But
it.
I was
With
like,
people
no,
with body odor.
I'm
Who
a
wants to be
skunk
sitting
wrangler.
next to somebody?
I wrangle skunks.
Oh,
And
that's
I
what you
just-
do. You're a skunk
and
wrangler.
after wrangling the skunks, I need some fluffy, delicious pancakes.
That you're
I
right.
don't know. But
That's
I mean,
another
it
issue
just
in
caused
itself.
another problem that I don't think they need to even address. Not to mention, they just pissed off a lot of people who do that.
Okay, now let's move on. In Polk County, Florida, a lady, now this is taking, I always say that elderly people, they believe in their doctors, whatever the doctors say, this is it, and trust in your doctor. Now this has gone to the extremes, but this 73-year-old woman took her meth to the doctor to be tested before she smoked it.
Smart woman.
And of course she ended up in the jail. Polk County
She shouldn't
jail.
have went to jail for that. That's why we need corrections reform. I mean, honestly,
73-year-old woman taking meth, it's illegal.
Okay, it's illegal, right?
Yes.
But do you lock her up or do you give her treatment? She needs treatment. She's smoking crack.
At 73 years old, lock her butt up.
You don't lock her up. She needs treatment. She coming to y'all for help. Her issue is so strong. She like, doctor, I want
need
to
to know
use
this
this
is true
drug
meth.
safely and I don't want to, whatever. But the point I'm saying is, her being in jail doesn't solve her addiction problem.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It's a start.
It's right at the
is
beginning.
not-
73
it is-
years old. We're going to go back to this issue one, but we ain't.
Y'all right.
Okay.
But we are not. So moving right along.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Let's get this out the way. The Idris Elba doll. Did you see it?
He got a dog?
He had a daughter. I
Doll.
seen a picture of his daughter the other day.
Doll.
I know what you
DOLL.
said.
And his doll looked like Montel Williams. It don't look like Idris.
What is the doll for?
I guess just like a doll, like a Barbie doll.
Okay, because I didn't know it was an action figure from his parts in the Marvel universe.
No,
because
it's
I wonder
not
if
that.
there's a picture of that.
I don't know, but this doll do not look like Idris.
Wow.
I'm like, where's 50 Cent where you need him? Remember, he bought up all Juvenile's tickets, so he could be in the front row. He'll be like, nobody be in the front row. He'll be performing to nobody. Somebody need to buy up all these dolls because it does not look like him. Moving along, Tina Turner admits to peeing on Ike's grave, according to the article in Madhouse magazine. Do you think she was right or wrong?
I think that she can pay her respects any way she wants to.
Okay.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I'm just saying. I mean, like we ain't about to get on. Listen,
It made her
Aretha?
feel better.
Tina in my order.
Okay.
So we ain't even. You can't
We ain't
say
gonna
nothing
talk
bad
about Tina.
Tina.
All right, we're going to talk about Tina.
Sounds like she has some unresolved issues still.
Well, I'm sure I seen the movie.
Well, we don't know how close along. It was later on. She kind of. Well, maybe she
And
older
then to
lady.
tell you about it. So she didn't keep it just, this is what I have for you, Ike. I want everybody to know about it. Somehow that got revealed. So
It got revealed in the article because they asked her about how did she
Yes,
feel about him, and she
unresolved
admitted it.
issues.
She admitted it. So I guess somebody said it, and she went on and she admitted it to it, according to the article in Madhouse magazine. Now, Birdman gives Toni Braxton. We talked about this before. Toni Braxton being with Birdman, and I didn't see that connection, but she said she loves him. He gives her an ultimatum on setting a wedding date. He proposed to her, last September 2017, and she was waiting on a date for them to get married. Anyway, she still has not given a date, and the year is coming to a close. Do you think she's stringing him along, or what? He said he liked her the whole time, even when she was married, but he didn't want to cross that line.
I'm sorry, I seen the doll picture and I.
Oh, you back to the doll? That doll don't look nothing like him, does it?
It looks like Montel Williams or that one actor guy. I can't think of his name.
What, the one that played Pinky? And Friday?
No. He was a black dude in the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Didn't see it. Did you see the doll?
Hilarious. Here's the doll.
Right.
There's
I don't see
why did they
Idris.
choose to make him bald?
I don't even know.
I've never seen Idris Elba bald.
Ever.
Yeah.
So, with Birdman, do you think she's stringing him along, or what do you think that, why she's, she said that she's having issues, she wants to dress, he wants to just go to the courthouse, but she has yet to pick a date, so he's giving her an ultimatum.
Who is he trying to marry?
Toni Braxton.
Just don't marry her.
Okay.
Walk away. So this is the guy who I think he looks like. His name is
walk away.
He said walk away.
Malco.
Yeah, he dealt with that. Walk away. If she ain't putting the date, walk away. But you know what? He has a point because it is almost like, do you really want to marry this guy?
Yeah.
It's like, do you really want to marry him?
You didn't mention that the dog was $1,100.
Oh. Yeah, I guess I should have mentioned
just
that.
walk away, man. I mean, like, it's... So what, man? You know what I mean? Like this...
He loves her, though, but he gave her an ultimatum, so I guess if they don't get married by the end of this year, he may just walk away. Moving along, speaking of the Braxtons, now, I don't know if y'all heard of this, but I gotta let y'all know. Tamar threw a tantrum. Y'all know she's in the play with Redemption of a Dog with Snoop Dogg. So, during the matinee, it was a matinee show, and they had two, one in the evening and a matinee for the production. One of her friends, wherever they were, was supposed to bring some food. They didn't let that person go back. She had an issue. So she's having a fit, blah, 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 and she walks out. Not on just her, she walks out on all her castmates and refused to do the show, so they had to redo it. Right. They had to redo the show, and somebody else had to do her part. She never had an understudy. And then she came back for the evening show and thought she was going to go ahead and just perform and do the show at the evening show. Would you allow her to come back?
No, you're done.
That's how I feel.
Completely.
I'm like, if you walked out...
Back to Atlanta.
Right, going back home. But you know what? When she got fired off of the Real, I'm wondering, because they were saying she was acting a little different. And they said she was acting different. All this was all over food. So she was upset and she said, I'm not going to do it, and walked out and had a fit. How can you just walk out on your castmates? And then they had to, like I said, they didn't get their break because they had to finagle some things to make this part come off. Right. I wouldn't allow her to come back for 7 o'clock. It's over. You walk out.
You're done.
So that's the way I feel. What's your thoughts? I'm like, you can't throw a tantrum and think you're supposed to come back.
Right.
What you think, Rugo? You still on that doll?
Yeah, I am. Everybody just get along. Can't we all just get along?
Yeah, they say, can't we all just get along? I would say that she's gone. I hope Snoop just go ahead and let her go. When you leave here and you got us in this little problem here.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean, is she messing up the church's money?
Well, definitely. Because they had to come in. No, she didn't have an understudy. And she just threw a tantrum because somebody that was delivering food, she didn't have an understudy because they depended on her. Some people had understudies. But you cannot have you cannot sit there, you're in this production, and you gonna throw a tantrum because somebody didn't deliver food and they didn't let this person back. They had no idea. Right. But then you get an attitude and then storm off and don't do the 3 o'clock show. And then you gonna come back at 7 and everybody's trying to talk to you. So they, allegedly Snoop tried to talk to her, couldn't calm her down, and she's like, "No, I'm done. Bye. See ya." Tamar will not be there. So what they did for the 7 o'clock show, they said she will not be showing. She will not be here, and we'll pray for her. They came forward before that.
So did they cancel the show?
No, they had somebody that knew some of the songs, the people in the background, and then they had somebody else play her. They had to learn her lines, and then they ended up telling them, they said, let's pray for her. So they did. They prayed for her right before the matinee, and some people, they felt like they came to see Tamar. And then, like I said, it was 7 o'clock show, kind of like what happened downtown. There was that gospel concert, and Donnie McClurkin wasn't able to come, so they put it up there. If you wanted your money back, you could get it back. That was down in Powers Auditorium. And if because people came to see him, and they said because something happened to his son, or something was going on in his life. Oh, his nephew passed away or something. But then on Facebook, he did a Facebook Live where he was flying to California to see his son for his birthday. I said, y'all are going to need to stop it. So he technically wasn't even coming to Youngstown anyway. But anyway, we're going to move right along with that. Okay, rest in peace to Kim Porter. She passed away. A lot of people, if you are familiar with the model industry, Kim Porter was a model, and she dated P. Diddy for a long time, and they had the twins together. Sure. And also, she had an older son, and her older son is by Christopher Williams.
Oh, I'll be sure.
Yeah, I'll be sure. That's it, not Christopher Williams. Lord, forgive me. Christopher is the son name.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be sure.
Christian.
Yeah, Christian. I knew it was something close like that. Yeah, she had a baby by I'll be sure, but P. Diddy just went on and took him on. So that's it. Now, I think that this kind of hit the airwaves because she was so young, 47. Now, one article that I read said it was flu-like symptoms. The other articles said complications with pneumonia. So we have yet to find out what exactly happened to her. But yeah, she was at home in her bed. So that's what's going on there. All right, there's your hot topics for the week. I caught you all up. My Monday through Fridayers. The people that can't see what's actually going on. What's going on in politics?
Okay, before we go there, am I doing...
Yeah, you are in a minute.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know because then I had to put it in order in my brain. The biggest thing that's going on now in the politics is that the election is truly not over in some states like Florida and Georgia, where the Senate and the governor's seats are being contested because the margin of error is so low that they want recount after recount after recount. Even to the point in Florida where the Senate race is being recounted by hand to ensure that these votes are accounted for. There's been a lot of different things going on where there are tens of thousands of votes that have not been counted for both races. However, in Georgia with Abrams, who is a candidate Democratic candidate that will be, if elected, first woman, first black person to be governor of Georgia, is in a race where she has said she has not conceded because of what the word concede means. And that means that you believe that this is the proper and just thing. What she is saying is that she is not going to fight against what the election's results are once they are revealed, but she is going to, there is the potential of a lawsuit being made against the state for their improper care of the ballots to begin with.
Okay.
So that's happening in Georgia. And in Florida, what I talked about, Mr. Gillum, who was the mayor of Tallahassee, he's in a neck and neck race, but it looks like he may not. I don't know if he's going to win or not. You know what I mean? It's just really up in the air. But they're thinking that his results will be. The margin of error is not as tight for his race as it is for the Senate seat. So Rick Scott, who's the former governor of Florida, is a Republican, and he's trying to unseat this seated Democrat who's been there for some time. So it's really up in the air, but these results mean a lot to the overall scope of what we do as Americans here. And this is why if this election, if not any, will show people the importance of the interim of these elections. Like, you just can't come out every 4 years for president because Congress runs the country, really.
Right.
They have the power to make rules and things like that. And what the president does, he can make laws, and they're vetted by if your party has the majority. You can get things that are pushed through that may not necessarily be in the interest of all Americans. So that is my little history, civics lesson or whatever on that piece. But for the overall piece of it, even if this Senate seat is won, the Republicans will still have control of the Senate. However, they do not have control of the House. There were 218 positions that need to be there for you to have control. The Democrats have about 226, I think, of those seats. So they have already talked about their plans to ask for certain inquiries to be done on the president for his taxes, his thing with Russia and all that sort of stuff. The bigger picture with that is that Trump had got rid of Jeff Sessions as his attorney general. And so with that, he's replaced him with this guy named Whitaker, who already has sort of a kind of not straight path when it's come to his works in Iowa, where he was running for, I think, attorney general there. I can't remember the exact position. But there was something where he used a lot of taxpayers' dollars to go on a witch hunt against this Democrat who happened to be openly gay candidate, Congress senator, what have you, in Iowa. So people said, because what ended up happening was it was 2 years of investigations and all this stuff that happened against this guy. And in 30 minutes, once it went to trial, in 30 minutes, the jury came back and said that there is no case against this man. So
it's a waste of dollars.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that are happening that we can't take our attention off of.
Okay.
And there was even like Lindsey Graham had said last year that if Jeff Sessions got fired, that there will be hell to pay. Now he's backing up off that statement. And I think the issue is because the results of the election came out. And they're still holding strong in areas where they knew they would hold strong at. So it's like, why am I going to go against the flow when people either don't care or do care and they're supporting this agenda?
Alrighty, Rugal, what's happening in the movie world?
Oh, this is a tough day in the movie world. Tough week in the movie world. If you didn't know this, Stan Lee has passed. He died, I believe it was on Tuesday of this week. Stan Lee is the creator of such heroes as Black Panther, Spider-Man, The Incredible Hulk, The Fantastic Four. He is Marvel. This is pretty much.
And he's like, what, 95?
He was 95 when he died. But it was like, I would listen to this show that Kevin Smith did along with Mark Bernard, and it's called Fat Man Beyond. And they took their whole show. It was a podcast. It's a show. But they do it at a bar. Uh-huh. But anyway, they dedicated the whole show to Stan Lee. And those gentlemen did such a good job. What is it called? Is it utilizing? What's the word? Eulogy.
EULOGY. Eulogizing?
Eulogizing.
Hey!
All right.
We forgot to dig him.
You gotta dig me. But
Eulogizing his service.
I knew it was coming out wrong. I knew it. So I was like, give me help. Can I get a little help from my friends? Yes. So he has done such a great body of work when they coined it just right. It's like, we don't know who wrote like the mythology for like Greek mythology, like or Roman mythology, like and all like Poseidon and Apollo, all those people like that. But we do know who wrote this mythology that has like transcended like generations with like entertaining people. Not only that, was that like Stan Lee. I remember having early conversations about Stan Lee and his work, and how his work mirrored the civil rights movement, because he wrote from 61 to like 72 and created all these characters and all this kind of stuff, but he also had a social consciousness about what was going on in America. And there was a piece that he wrote in what you call Stan's Corner, and I had it on my phone. I don't know if I got it or not, but it may be longer than what we have time for. But it basically talks about how we cannot allow injustices to happen to people because of their differences. Okay. So this was a guy who didn't have to do the things he did. Like even when he made the character Black Panther before the Black Panther movement had came about. Not to say that it was like months before, so he was already developing this character, and then this party came out, and they had to make a decision. They were like, well, we think we want to change the name, or we're telling you that you should probably change the name to Black Leopard because of what's going on with this other movement here. And he's like, yeah, it won't be none of that. So, so they
clear that up right now.
You know what I mean? So there was a lot of things that he was doing that, when you just think about his works, his works really dealt with how human nature versus like, it wasn't about a guy from a different planet or anything like that. It was like, these are humans who have this particular issue, but he transcended, he opened up, like he would say openly, if you are against equality for people, you can't be a Marvel fan. You just can't be, because our work is
what a great eulogy you're giving him right now.
I mean, like, it's like, he's truly a lost treasure. He will be like, he's like, in my mind, he's lined up with Dr. Seuss, Henson, what's like the puppet Muppet? Jim Henson. Those type of people. Like the next greatest loss that we'll probably have that will influence people to read like he did, and I hate to even put it out there because I hope he lives long, is LeVar Burton. You know what I mean? Because his work with Reading Rainbow and all that kind of stuff. So like these guys have been trendsetters to get people to read and to give them something entertaining that has a parallel purpose with our current society, and they do it in a way that says this is not justice. and we should fight for equity.
Awesome. You know? Now let's talk about Green Book.
Green Book.
Green Book, which
Woo!
is
Okay, yeah. I talked about.
Go ahead. You got some information.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it yet. But what it is a story about one black man, one white man. It looks like it's in the 60s or 50s where they
60s.
come about with a friendship. There was some controversy about that because the star Viggo Mortensen was doing an interview or something like that, and he used the N-word, but he didn't use the N-word like
in a demeaning way.
Yeah, but he used it in to describe what like this is whatever, but. His
co-star didn't take it offensive.
He actually said that he accepts his apology and he understood the scope of what it was about. So it's like one of those things that may have been taken out of proportion. Like when sometimes in order to talk about this subject, you have to say the word. Right. Saying the word sometimes brings more attention to just talking about the issue.
And you're missing the whole point.
Yeah, like because the issue is the word, and not to address the word and address the issue kind of takes away, because we know what it is to be treated unfairly. Oh, you cut me in line, but you don't know what it is to be marked because of something that's out of your control, and then have a label put on that to like say if you did something that was rude to somebody and they call you that versus calling you a rude person. It has a whole different indentation.
For those who probably don't know, the Green Book is based off of the actual Green Book. Back in the day, a guy by the name of Victor Hugo Green, he was a postman. Okay. And what he did, he started a Green Book, and it's almost equivalent to like AAA today. And this Green Book would tell people where black people can go and be treated if they were traveling. You could go this route and they're welcoming to black people. Mm-hmm. So that's where it derived from, and they end up deciding to, make a movie and bring it back. But you guys read up on what the Green Book was. So I just look at it as kind of like our parallel. I look at it as parallel. It's like when you go to get a map for like the AAA, you can go there and get a map and say, okay, this is where I'm navigating to. And I don't want to say with like Harriet Tubman, as far as like the Underground Railroad, but it was like, okay, black people that are traveling, you want to go this way because this is where we're accepted at. So that's where the Green Book derived from. Just had to put that out there.
Well, it sounds like we might need a new Green Book.
We need a new Green Book, right? The way things going now, right?
And maybe that's just that.
Talk Widow. I'm going to see The Widow.
I have not seen it. I had a friend who's seen it, who I trust his review. He said that it's a contemporary film that it's not going to be like something that changes culture, but it does deal with things in culture, like race and that kind of thing. But
I just want a wholesome movie. I know, right? A wholesome movie that's not color based.
Grinch is playing, and he's green.
Okay, let's go with the Grinch.
But that movie is getting really good reviews, and I want to go see it too. It has a all-star multicultural cast in it. So Michelle Rodriguez is also in it, along with Viola the Crier Davis, is what I just named her, because she will cry and win an award at the drop of a dime.
Right.
Get them tears going. I mean, she got that. Oh, that cry. Woo! Damn sure don't want to be at a funeral with her.
Hire her. Hire her and the casket jumpers. Like, that's what you want. Yeah, that's what I want. My funeral. Casket jumpers and Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I might do that on my coffin. Have a sign. Please don't touch me. At request of the dead person in the box. That'd be
hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah.
So I'm talking about something unpretty. So. That's a shame. That's the song. I'm not no shade at Viola Davis. So you said you gonna put that on your casket. That's unpretty.
Dead person.
That's unpretty. That ain't right. That's petty. At the request of the dead person.
Matter of fact, I'll just have my hand. I'll put my hand out there.
Just shake it.
Shake my hand as you go past. Give me a high five or something.
Off the hook. So I guess I'll go see The Widow. I'm planning on seeing it next week. But you said The Grinch is out.
The Grinch is out.
Okay, so I guess
I think it released this weekend.
For Thanksgiving is coming so fast.
It's the 21st. No.
The 21st is the day before Wednesday. Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Yeah. So it might be Thanksgiving weekend. No, I think it's already out. It's already out.
Okay.
It's already out. It's making a ton of those. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting so tired. Even though we know that this stuff is real and it's going on with all this. 45 being in office, yes, this is like everything's being exposed. And the people that, and let's think back when we were some years back, and you were like, oh, okay. And then you had your white friends be like, there's no racism. You'd be like, yeah, okay. Now we're being exposed to show that guess what? People are still racist. But before they just kept it under wraps. But I'm just so tired of, even though I know it is real and it needs to be talked about, but I'm just so tired of the black and white thing. It's like, can we just move forward? That's our goal, but racism still does exist, and it's sad.
I think what happens sometimes, though, I had some recent experiences where I think, like, cultural competency is needed so much, and people need to realize, even though they may not feel a certain way, that culturally they do things that are offensive. And they don't even realize it because they're just being them, but they in their heart, they be like, oh, no, I don't feel this way. But you're using... It may not, and this is the thing, the N-word is huge, right? And it may not be those words, but it's certain things. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? Like, it's things where, like, if you tell someone they don't have the ability to say something, it's an issue. You know what I mean? Just like when the president was telling the reporter, sit down.
Right.
The first, everybody gets caught up on the Second Amendment, but the First Amendment is the freedom of speech,
right,
and the right of press.
Right.
The first one.
He don't want nobody talking.
Yeah. And then, but the thing is like him saying that, like how many white men, white women have asked him questions that he didn't like. Did he call them stupid? It's different. Did he call them a loser? It's different. Did he tell them to sit down?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It definitely needs to be addressed. I'm not saying that it doesn't. It's just sad.
But the power, the thing that people need to realize is just not being rude to somebody when there's racially charged.
You can see the separation.
Things that happen. Like this is all we've always been told. Oh, you speaking up? Oh, you uppity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be uppity anymore, are you? You know, or we are people whose voice has often and continuously has tried to be suppressed. You know what I mean? So when you're in an environment where someone says something like that to you, who is the opposite of you, they don't understand that. Yeah. This is a whole new level of pissed offness because you're not taking in, yeah, you can ding it, pissed offness with extra nip on the end, that you've created because you don't know the past about that. Right. You don't know what's linked to that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you haven't experienced it, you haven't even heard about it, and it's just like you just want to speak up and think that it's okay. Is that safe to say?
That it's okay?
Yeah, I'm talking about the other people. Like, you think that this is okay, and you have no clue of the history.
Yeah, I think they think it's okay. And it's like, yeah, but it's like, but it's not. And sometimes they think that just because I didn't say these words and that's not my intent, your approach is one that shows that you have adapted the superiority complex of your culture.
Okay.
And they think it's okay.
Okay. Now I'm gonna say this because I seen something that was very troubling to me this morning, and listen, it was really different because it was right here locally, and Cheney grad dressed up for Halloween as Flavor Flav.
Okay.
White guy, blackface. Class reunion coming up, so you already know. I can't wait to go. Because I'm doing Facebook Live on this one.
I mean, haven't you learned? This happened.
Listen.
This happened, what was it, last year? What happened? Or they had the picture, what's the movie? Oh, what's the movie?
But when you that close, somebody that you went to school with, it's like, you see this stuff on TV, but this is, even though we know this is real people, but it's like, I feel like you knew this was wrong.
Yeah.
And what was bad is the people that was behind him that was black, that felt that it was okay.
Yeah. If you look at the movie,
hands was painted and everything.
What's the movie is? If you look at the movie, Dear White People,
okay,
they address that in a real way at the end of the movie because they show clips of where it was these white fraternities that did stuff like that. and they would have like, I don't know, they call them ghetto party. People be coming in their blackface and all that kind of stuff. And these people didn't even, I don't know if they were oblivious that they were idiots and this was racist or not.
Okay.
But the thing is that it's racist. You know what I mean?
Can you pull that up for me real quick? Cause see, and listen, I was just shocked, but I can't wait. I gotta go. I'm gonna go Facebook Live. Like, what were you thinking? This is the same person. Let's put it up here. Yeah. What were you thinking, and how did you think that this was okay? Especially we know it's not okay. It ain't like it's like an old person. You know what I'm saying? An old Aunt your mama type thing. This is right here close to home. Matter of fact, at home. It's not even close to home. You are at home. Oh, yeah. You got it? I'm like, you'd be shocked. I was just outdone.
This your class? Mm-hmm. Is this your class?
Now, just peep it. Didn't even know. Got hands done and everything. So, the class reunion, yes, your girl is going to be on
and the other people, was this a group costume or something?
No, because the one is Michael Jackson.
And the one is Elvis, I assume?
Is the face painted white as Elvis? Nope. No. Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
So come on now.
So he could have been Flavor Flav without the paint.
He could have been Flavor Flav, pure white.
Yeah. Well, maybe was it a group costume?
I don't know what it was, but it was inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate to me. Yeah, they distracted on that. So let me get up with the shop. Right. Totally different, right? You see the real picture? No, man.
You can see the white in his nose and in his nostrils.
Listen, how did you feel that's okay at our age? But anyway, moving on to Shop Talk question of the week. Now, this Shop Talk question of the week came from the Wendy Williams show.
Is he supposed to be almost? Oh.
So the Wendy Williams show, a girl ended up standing up, and I had to use that one. She was 26 years old. 26 years old, and her issue was, I am 26. My boyfriend is bad in bed, but everything else is great. What should I do? So, now I know you're distracted because I was like distracted from that one.
Well, now I'm looking at the lobsters they got. And
forget that. So, that's what I'm talking about. 26 years old. Her boyfriend is bad in bed.
The boyfriend is 26?
No, she's 26. Her boyfriend is bad in bed. And everything else is great. But she just can't get past that. What should she do? Should she leave?
Is it bad
should she stay?
Because of...
See, we don't know all of that. And I pulled this Shop Talk question, like I said, off of the Wendy Williams. It was like the Ask Wendy segment. And I thought that was like a great one. Because most people, some men have an issue with this. Most men, with the sex being bad. And some of them like, okay, well, I could teach you, blah, 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 blah. Now, there's guys on there, they commented under it, and they was like, well, teach him. You could do this, and you could do that. But, remember, what movie was that? Boomerang, where they said the girl was like a militant? Where it was like, to the left, right. Yeah, who wants that woman? Who wants that woman to say, hey, let me show you what pleases me?
Well, if it's going to get the job done, sometimes you got to take instructions.
You got to take instructions?
Hey, if it's going to get the job done, I mean, like what's the, like, if
so are men more acceptable of women telling them what to do?
I would think that you should be if you ain't, because if you ain't delivering it the way that she wanted, then she going to find a different deliverer. Right?
Now that is true.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean like if it's something that's
maybe they're not vibing.
If it's something outside of your control, like if it's like, parts don't.
If the mic ain't right,
yeah. If it's something like that, then I mean,
if you got an Idris Elba doll microphone,
be creative, But if it's something that can be corrected. And it's through like communication, because I mean, sex should be the great communication, right? Because we've come
you vibing, and this is it.
Yeah. So I mean, to actually say something that enhances that experience with that person should be taken as a
How do you say something negative. Like that?
It should be taken as negative. I mean,
how do you say? Be like, you know what? Your sex is awful, without being offended. Like, the sex is not working. Because a guy...
I'm feeling it. I'm just not...
Yeah, I ain't feeling it, literally.
Yeah. I mean, it
ain't working.
Right. How does that work? How does a man do it without being on the defense? Be like, well, you ain't doing this and that, because that's usually what happened.
Well, I think
because people just retaliate
you
instead of thinking.
You gotta have the conversation. You know, like for example, there's been some high profile guys who have been. I guess they told.
Idris was one.
Idris was one. I don't know about Idris, but I know.
According to K. Michelle, she said his head game was tight, but that's it. Go ahead.
Okay, but
allegedly.
Okay, but let's say, like, what's his name? Kanye West and 50 Cent. There was something where I guess they wanted sex a certain kind of way, and then when they got that sex with those people a certain kind of way, those people have put them out on blast saying, well, you did this, or
so you gay.
You know, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but the thing was, they were, if indeed whatever happened, they were at least expressing themselves to their partner about what they liked.
And you should be able to do so.
You know what I mean? But the thing was, look what happened to them. They expressed themselves on what they liked and thought they had this communication and this relationship that came with a level of confidentiality, but they got exploited for that.
And then she still like them.
But the point is like, you know, but who, if you will, there's certain levels of
maturity.
Yeah, and confidence that I think should be kept between people. And I don't know if that act is so intimate and you really look at it that way. It wasn't like they was going off saying stuff about them sexually. Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? But they was, whatever happened, they just didn't like each other. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, now
and Viv still want them. After you didn't slander and put it out there, well, okay.
Yeah, I think that was, you know, so I was just saying, like, I could see why some people would be hesitant to speak up because of
the backlash. What might happen.
Yeah.
Or later on down the line. Yeah,
but I would say that if you want to enjoy the experience the best way, then talk about it. You know, I mean, it's more than just it in itself.
Okay,
right?
so usually, I ain't gonna say usually. Okay, so there's a guy, he likes to give oral.
Okay,
but his girl is not really into the oral. She into the main course.
Yeah,
but the main course ain't right. So it almost like, why you want to get this and it doesn't please her. So what you gonna do? How does that work?
Well, I think
they need to move on to,
you're either gonna click or you're not,
or have a
just friend zone, huh?
Yeah, or have a legitimate conversation about it. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, because can it be fixed? Is there like I guess the safe word to say, marital aid that could assist them in having more pleasurable interactions with each other?
Now, here's my thing. There was a lady that commented on there and she said, stop fornicating. Now, what's your thoughts on try fornicating before getting married? Because remember, we did it, what was it, a year ago, where the lady was married the guy.
They didn't have sex they knew each other for like, what, 3 or 4 years?
Right. And did it the right way. And he ain't work. Not work, manually work, but his joint didn't work. His microphone. Is this thing on? You know what I'm saying? So it didn't work, but I felt that, you know, he played her.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I'm trying to do this the right way, and no sex before married. Then we get married, and then you telling me your joint ain't working. That's not cool.
He had no problem keeping the vow. I mean,
right.
Keeping it. Well,
and she thinking this is awesome. I got somebody, boom, wedding night didn't work.
I think the thing was that she should have communicated that issue more, because I don't know.
But you don't know.
But I guess my thing is like, what's the how far is there? How much gray is in there? Like, is it sex or is it just like nothing? Like you know, like there's been no groping or anything in that situation? It just sounds so crazy saying grope like that, but. You know, like, there's been no kind of, like,
we got 2 minutes. We got to hurry up.
Appetizer?
Yeah, like, there should have, like, nothing happened. Like, it may not have been,
no appetizer, like you said.
It may not have been a home run, but, I mean, like, was there something, like, was there a base? Did anybody take a base at all? You know,
nobody was grinding on the side of the house? Wasn't nobody grinding on the side of the house? Kissing and grinding, when you feel something, you'll be like, okay, well, I don't feel nothing. What's happening here?
Yeah, this seemed like I can understand, like, but not being in a situation where you just don't kind of like know a little bit. I mean,
clearly did not know.
That's her fault.
That's her fault.
Yeah.
I think that she should tell him, but some people can't do it and just.
I know of a story where someone had.
Now we got 1 minute. I still got to get through some stuff. Go ahead.
The question was, not me. Are you on any like blood pressure medications? Because the person said they don't do that. It's like if you're on blood pressure medication, I'm not dealing with you.
Well, see, and diabetes.
I don't know, but I know blood pressure.
Certain age limit. Certain
Right.
age.
That mean homeboy might be asleep.
But that was a deal breaker from the beginning. It was
And
like
yes.
the questionnaire. Are you on any blood pressure medications? Oh, sorry.
So clearly sex is important in a relationship.
Yeah,
And I would have to agree, because when she was like 26 years old, but just thinking of somebody older, it's like, okay, you do want to, like you said, sex is like the great communicator. Mm-hmm. And it is the great communicator, because if you're with somebody, you can tell when it's off and when it's on. Mm-hmm. And to me, I just feel like that partner, when it's off, they need to say, hey, something going on with us. It's not just off for no reason. Right. So that's good. Sex is the great communicator. That's going to be today's footnote.
All right.
All right, quick question to the foodies. Real quick. This is fun. Does pizza and ranch go together?
I had a pizza that had ranch instead of red sauce.
Was it good?
It was cool. But it what it was basically was a flat sandwich. You know what I mean? But
because you figured the veggie. Well, the veggie pizzas are with ranch.
Chicken bacon ranch.
Oh, I'm getting sick just thinking about it. Yeah. Do you fold pizza in half to eat it?
Depends. Yeah.
Depends on what the size.
Yeah.
The what? The thinness. Yeah, I guess you're right.
All right. Yeah, you talking about like a square piece you fold in half, or a triangular slice that you gotta do that thing where you pinch it up.
Uptown in half.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, the uptown they fold in half.
Hey,
you gonna have a mess.
With a fork.
You do.
Yeah.
Now tell me this, the proper name for a long sandwich is what?
Well, there's a couple. There's a hoagie, there's a submarine.
Foot long.
Yeah. There's another name. I can't. That's all I got right now. I can't think.
Hero.
There you go.
Yeah, Hero. All right. Well, in Philadelphia, they call it hoagies. In Connecticut, subs. And Heroes in New York. All right. Let's see here. What else is there? Is a hot dog considered a sandwich? Since it's meat between two. I guess it's one piece of bread. A hot dog is a hot dog and stand alone.
But that is interesting, though. A hot dog is officially. I think it meets the requirements of a sandwich. But if I thought about sandwiches, I've never thought about a hot dog as a sandwich until today.
Look at that. Things that make you say,
except for the, if I can say, Cosby Show, when they used to have that one, bacon burger dog. If you can even give a reference to Bill Cosby Show anymore.
Salt, yeah, you can.
Okay.
Poor thing. And the residuals on that, I was, Malcolm Jamal Warner was on Wendy Williams, and he was talking about the residuals as far as like Alvin. Remember he was working at the grocery store? Right. He was saying at the beginning when they start playing the reruns, you get more money, but as they keep going, it goes down to like pennies. Mm-hmm. So you do need to have another job and a job that's flexible if you get an acting job. Salt on watermelon. Yay or nay?
What?
Salt on watermelon.
Salt on watermelon. I used to do that back in the day. I'd say yay until you reach a certain age.
Right. Until you reach a certain age, you be like, you got high blood pressure. Your mic ain't working. Yeah. Is this thing on?
Yeah, I remember being a kid, we get crab apples and stuff, put salt on them and eat them.
And call it a day. Yeah. Speaking of mics, you know that Jill Scott going viral, but they always said that she was a freak because she was pretty much using the microphone like it was a penis. And everybody, they said that her record sales went up after this thing. You have to look on there and Google.
Well, I like Jill Scott.
Yeah, you got to Google, and they said everybody go
in concert.
Yeah, the concert. They said that's how she is in concert. But just putting that out there real quick. French fries, do you dip it in milkshake or not?
No. I don't order milkshakes.
Okay, so that will be a no for you. Oreos, do you eat them whole or do you split them apart?
I think it's natural to just split them apart, just because when I ate them as a kid, it was a kid food. So what do? You change it up a little bit. Because as an adult, I may eat one. I can't remember the last time I had an Oreo. Right.
Oh, okay. There's some in there.
Yeah.
I keep them in a cookie jar. They say statistics show that it tastes better if you split them apart. All right, question. Let's go with the PB and J's.
Better mixed up in ice cream.
Oh, that's a lot. That's called a blizzard.
called grease.
Do you cut your sandwiches diagonal or in half?
Diagonal.
Yeah. I've been known to do both, depending on the
softness of the bread.
Yeah, or the thickness of the sandwich. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you try to go, diagonal, and you got a lot of things going on, it's harder to keep it in there. So
You need a sharper knife. That's what the problem
that
is.
could be. Yeah.
Well, it shows that if you cut it diagonal, it looks like it's larger.
Okay.
Now, do you twirl your spaghetti or do you cut your spaghetti?
Twirl.
He's a twirler.
I'm a cutter.
You're a cutter? I'm a twirler. They said spaghetti is always fun. That's why it's spaghetti. You should twirl it. How about that? Otherwise, if you're going to cut it, it should be macaroni.
Then you eat that with a spoon.
How about that? I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
I was like, let me ask the foodie since Rugal is going to be here. Hey, lovely people, that is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. And today's footnote, I'm going to let Rugal go ahead with the sex comment as far as it being the great communicator. So if you are in a relationship, listen, sex is the great communicator. And if you are not having sex, I don't know what to tell you. Be like that other lady and then see if it works or not.
You can do.
Yeah, do what you can do without I'm not saying fornicate, but I'm saying
you can
this.
just have your own diary, I guess, your own memoir.
Yeah, but you know what? I just feel like it's almost where you shouldn't. They say you shouldn't move in with each other before marriage. I told my cousin before I got married, I said, you should have told me to shack up first. And I'm going to tell you why, because you know if you can live with that person.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand in the church, no, you shouldn't do any of those things. And then once you marry, you just stuck and trapped. And it's like, I done signed this contract to pick up behind you how long?
But back
forever.
Like I was having a conversation with a coworker about some of the biblical rules and how, like, back in the day, you kind of like, you had people who would live with their family until they got married because it was like a survival kind of thing.
Right.
So,
okay.
You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I just kind of feel like, hey, how long is your engagement going to be is the question.
That's what Birdman want to know.
Not if you live with the person, but how long do you plan to
see if you guys are going to make it work or not? That's $1 million question. Make today a spectacular day, lovely people. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Shut up right here on your Spreaker.com.